What's going on, Duck Nation, College Football Nation? This is UODuckBros back with another video, and now we can finally look forward to something else.
I can actually look forward to watching ESPN again. I can actually look forward to just watching
football again.
Football in general.
And not being horrifyingly depressed over it.
And I'm sure Eugene has gotten over its proverbial hangover, and I don't just mean of the loss, I mean of all the drinking that we've done.
And all of the absolute bottom floor depression.
So take your charcoal and grab a seat, because we are discussing Utah.
So, here's the opening statement about Utah. And he just said it a second ago.
Yep.
I'm going to steal it because it's actually pretty factual. Utah is probably... Sorry if I'm looking away, by the way. This game's awesome over here. Utah is probably the most deceiving 4-win team I have ever seen.
Yeah, you know, the one time that I watched them, like, I don't know, against UCLA, where he threw a lot of interceptions.
6, yeah?
6, yeah. I'm like, is this guy the same guy that beat Stanford? Because I don't know where to draw the parallel there whatsoever.
That's why it's so weird. Like... That's the only team that beat Stanford. Those guys.
And I know for a fact, and this is no disrespect to Utah or its fan base, but I know for a fact that we are much better, top to bottom, than you guys. And I am not trying to flame or troll, but my goodness, I don't know what you did, but we should have called you guys, because you guys put together a masterpiece. I still don't know how, because it seems like the more and more I've watched it over and over again.
It's the only conference win they have.
I know, it's insane.
They don't even have a win in their own division, they have that one win in conference, and that's it.
But you know what?
They've been competitive in just about all of those games. But that's why it's so weird.
It's frustrating.
Like you look at Travis Wilson's numbers. He's completing just over 50% of his passes, and his touchdown to interception ratio is 1-to-1. 1-to-1. 16 picks, 16 touchdowns. It's just like the most polarizing thing that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like they're not a bad team, but yet they're a bad team, kind of.
You don't really know what to take away from it, because
their defense is really good.
Their defense is good,
but then it's not very good.
It's not very good.
It's just like Utah is like the proverbial flip a coin team, I think. They're one of those guys where like they're either really, really good that day and they're doing everything right, or they just can't figure it out.
Yeah. They just...
And that's why it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure that they're coming to Autzen, so I'm not really sure that they're going to be able to put it together, and I don't really expect much. But it's just the fact that in the back of your mind that they've beaten the team that you just got beaten to a bloody pulp by, and so it makes you wonder with a team. I know that the contrast of styles are a lot different, because you go from Stanford to Oregon. It's more of what you usually. Utah does more of an up-tempo type thing like we do.
They do. That's the one thing that makes me feel okay about it.
Because, every up-tempo team that we play, we dominate for the most part, because they don't have extraordinarily humongous dudes that just like to run the ball down your throat.
And they don't have the same caliber of athlete.
No
disrespect. Because, let's be honest, they do still have great athletes. Like, Drez Anderson is good.
Oh, Drez Anderson's sick.
He's good. He's really good. Travis Wilson, on a good day, is really good.
Yeah.
But it's not a consistent
thing. And there's something, to be said about, not everybody has the greatest home field advantage in the world, but we do. And there's something to be said about coming to Autzen Stadium, especially since Travis Wilson has never played at Autzen Stadium yet since he's joined the Pac-12. So,
also,
I don't know.
With another note on that, keep in mind that Oregon, when coming off of a loss, averages, I think it's like 45 points a game at least, which is, it's under our average, obviously, but they average winning those games by a lot.
And do take into account that we're probably really pissed off.
Yeah.
We were embarrassed.
The fan base is really pissed off, which means they're going to have a lot of angst to get rid of during the course of that game. So it's going to be extra loud in there, for one. Two, I mean, it goes without showing, the players are absolutely livid over this because you know that they knew they could win that game, but they blew it, essentially. The only one big question is how healthy is Marcus Mariota? He says he's fine, but, I mean, the guy has a partially sprained MCL. I mean, that's not an easy thing to work around. So it kind of makes you wonder how long is he going to be in this game? Like, if he has to be in the game for a lot, like, are they going to play him the whole game?
Well, I read on, I think it was either GoDucks.com or I read on Rob Mosley's blog. Mariota said that it was his choice to go, and he said that if he felt like he couldn't run the offense to full speed, that he would take himself out based on the fact that he couldn't be himself. So it's going to be more or less a judgment call, not just for the coaches, but basically for Marcus. If he feels he can go and he can run and he can be Marcus Mariota, then he'll stay in the game. If not, you'll probably see more of Jeff Locke and Jake Rodriguez, which they both, the coaching staff still says they have a lot of confidence, and I know every coach has to say that, but I do believe from what I've seen from both of them, they both bring something to the table that,
they can both run the spread pretty well still.
They can, yeah, I mean, they're not Marcus, neither one of them are, but they're good enough to get the job done. So look for Marcus to play the entire game, but if at any point he comes out, I wouldn't panic. I would just, take that as he's not feeling normal, so he's going to rest his knee.
I think that's the one small benefit of having, played that game on a Thursday is that you get those extra
10 days.
You get the extra couple days of rest, and that might make all the difference. So, I don't know. It's going to be a weird game. It really is, because everybody obviously is still going to be kind of down about the loss and whatever, but it's the kind of thing where you got to move on from it, and this is kind of a start of something new. I mean, you still got to finish out the season strong, and this is kind of the launching point for that. This is how you tell the world, because everybody in the media is way down on Oregon right now. Like, everybody is bashing on them pretty much, saying they can't handle this and they can't handle that. This is the kind of thing saying, hey, we lost the game. We did.
We're human.
It was, we're not a machine. I mean, we are a machine. We're just an imperfect one. But this is kind of the statement saying, hey, we're still Oregon. We can still do what we do. And I think that's how it's going to be.
And you know what? Looking at this game, there's not really a ton of things that you can say that Utah does really well. They just do things really good a lot of times, or they do them really bad. But Oregon does just about everything really good. And I think really where it's going to make the biggest difference, I think, for Oregon this time, I think probably the key to the game, isn't really going to be Marcus as much. I feel like it's going to be the offensive line has a lot to prove. Mm-hmm. Number one. So I think the offensive line is going to be the key to this game because they just got taken behind the shed and beaten by Stanford. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot to prove, first of all.
The defense has a lot to prove.
But then secondly, Byron Marshall, Thomas Tyner, DeAnthony Thomas have a lot to prove, especially after DeAnthony said what he said. And I know he was detracting from his statement saying that he saw it in a dream, and he wasn't just trying to be disrespectful. But no matter what you say, the other team's going to take that as
bulletin board material.
Bulletin board material. So they have a lot. Those running backs did not play well, but that's partially due to the offensive line. So that's going to be the key to this game. I have full confidence in our defense. Our defense played pretty much lights out football, for the most part. I know that they got, run on, but, they didn't give up a lot of huge plays in the passing game.
They only gave up 2 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, one was, none of them were throwing.
No.
They just ran it.
So,
but I'm not worried about our defense whatsoever. I think our defense is going to play really well. I just think our offensive line is going to have a lot to prove, and so look for Oregon to try and establish the run early and often.
Mm-hmm. I think this will be, I don't want to say a breakout game. I think it'll just be Oregon kind of getting back into the swing of things. So, with all that out of the way, score prediction time.
Yeah, I think for this game, I like Oregon to win big, and I like them to make a statement saying that we're still a really good football team. So I'm going to go ahead and say Oregon gets 50 points. They're going to go 50, and I'm going to say Utah gets 17. I'm going to say 50-17 Oregon.
Now for me, maybe I'm off my hinges a little bit. I'm going to say having the knee being in the condition that it is, just because we don't really know. I'm going I'm going to go under a little bit. I'm going to say that Oregon's going to get 42. And then I think that Utah, I think they'll put up some points. I think they're going to get 24, 42-24. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I think that they're still going to be able to get some things done. I know that, and it'll probably be all second half stuff. I don't know. I know that Oregon is a really good adjusting team in that type of situation, but I have a feeling that Utah will put up some points. I think they will. They will. So
anyway,
that's my thought.
Let's move forward with this season and let's get a win against Utah. And thanks for watching, of course, as always. And we'd like to just say go Ducks, and let's look forward to killing some Utah Utes.
Amongst other things, by the way. On a side note, go USC.
Oh, yeah.
I would love nothing more than for Stanford to lose to USC, which is the only time I'm ever going to say go USC, by the way, because I hate you guys. So, yeah, you guys take it easy. This is UODuckBros saying thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Go Ducks.